Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. This is another game from that 5x5 Blitz tournament a while back. Now you might be saying Cobalt Valley is 10x10, but in our hearts and minds it's 5x5. You can see there's a lot of empty space here on the outside, and the gameplay generally more similar to a 5x5 than a 10x10. So, the players are Obfuscation up here in the red, playing Cybrant. And down here we have ThomasHiatt in the grey, playing UEF. And I think this was a semi-final game. We already saw Canis River, where Thomas prevailed over Blodir, and this is Cobalt Valley, as I said. Very nice map, bit of reclaim here and there, a nice layout, different ways to attack, and overall just some pleasant gameplay. Not much cancer to be had. So Blodir, this is quite normal, classic build order, make it factory PGen, a few mexes, and then comes the Hydro. Similar story for ThomasHiatt, although ThomasHiatt is has a couple engineers here with the ACU, and Blodir has a single one. And in return, Blodir has a tank on the right, which is going to defend versus lab that would commonly attack here. This is a common place to attack with the lab. Can also attack the left side, and actually it's probably more useful to attack the left side because everyone defends the right side now, to be honest. So attacking this engineer here, you can see that this engineer is left undefended because everyone attacks here, so you can exploit things like that. So Thomas already leaves, he's gone second land, third air is on the way. And same for Blodir, except Blodir is still in the base with his ACU building. And so his air factory is going to be built a bit sooner, and he's going for an Inti. And he's also assisting the factory, although he changed his mind now. And actually he's going to hang around with his ACU maybe? Or, oh no, he just got bumped. And now, look at this. The ACU won't move. Haha. Oh, I hate those pathfinding problems. It does happen on occasion. Doesn't damage him too much. And that first tank that was built to defend and then continue raiding has successfully raided that engineer before the defending tank appears, but he's left a gap in his lines, and this engineer is surely going to go down for Blodir. Tank has found him, and so we have a trade. On the left side, tank v tank, there's a Snoop to give its 2 DPS. Oh, it's bumping the tank, which actually may have allowed the tank to dodge a couple of shots, and the striker wins out, but there's 2 more tanks attacking through the gap here. And you can see this is what 5x5 gameplay is about, really, on decent 5x5 maps. You can see there's a lot of ways to get in and attack. You want to maneuver around your opponent's units to snipe what you actually want to kill, although he hasn't actually found this engineer, which is now going to expand and get a PD to try and secure this area. There's very commonly a PD built in this area. AC is for both players. Blodir a bit later to middle, so he's now building these mexes. Thomas has long since built these and is now moving his AC across to this position, which is quite interesting. I hear an air fight. Blodir wants the air fight and he wins it. You'll commonly see Blodir think he wants an air fight and then suicide his air. But not this time. And actually he is going to be... Oh my god, the engineer survives. But this expansion will not survive. And this is going to be a nice few kills for ThomasHiatt's ACU. Always want to be... If you can get kills like this are actually better than free. For one, they do no damage to the ACU more or less because he's going to regen it. But they're better than free because they give him veterancy as well as reducing the unit count of his opponent. So kills like that in the ACU are really important. You can see so Blodir immediately runs out of range when he spots that. ThomasHiatt grabs a couple of wrecks, and it looks like he wants to build and get a PD up. On the left side, both mexes go down in this expansion, but the Mantis will be cleaned up for now. Now Blodir, seeing that Thomas has evacuated middle, he pushes forward, and there is actually a nice move here where he can block reinforcements to ThomasHiatt's commander and make him very worried, but it looks like he just wants to take mexes instead. And now we have a bomber. After Blodir wins air, goes for the bomber, and he's going to kill a mex eventually. On the left side, quite a lot of tanks sent to the left side for Thomas, and he's getting a raid here. Maybe he can get a raid on this tank. But now we have reinforcements moving to the left from Blodir. Let's see what Blodir can see. Well, no radars. He's relying on his land scouts. And he has a few of them, and also his air scouts. And he has a nice number of those floating around. ThomasHiatt's vision is appalling. And he's actually losing a lot of map control now. So he did not ever build the PD. He actually didn't build the second mech with his ACU. I think he was scared of getting trapped. This is a nice little build here. Getting back some map control, but he is he has no vision right now, which is quite bad. A lot of players play like this, it seems. I mean, you can see neither player has actually built a stationary radar. And maybe it's just me, but I cannot play like that. So he tries to retake this area. He's grabbed the mass, which is actually a good idea to do before building the mexes. And he is ahead on total mass. Thomas is. Let's see the tank numbers. We have 40 tanks. He has a few anti-airs in there, and actually 46 for Blodir. And look at all this vision. And he's actually stealing mexes now on the side of Thomas. And this is nice play, and he's definitely going to deny this expansion once again. You can see the value of a PD here. If he had ever been able to get it built, 52 tanks, no arties. You would need a significant number of units to take out that PD without an arty, and this goes down as well. This mex, and Thomas getting raided in every direction and losing map control. I think maybe this move was it a mistake? Does it put him too far on the edge of the map where he can't react and feels uncomfortable with the safety of his ACU? That might be the case. I think it was largely a waste of time to walk here to build just one mex and then walk all the way back. I think that was a bit of a waste of time, but also without vision you can't make the unit maneuvers that are required. And you can see that the vision that Blodir has from the air scouts and also his good land scouts have allowed him to do a lot of good moves with his units, and he's from a position of basically having even units, which he did for quite a while. Now he has more units, but while he had an even number of units, he used them better, got his raids away, defended against attacks, and now he actually looks in a good position, although Thomas has far superior reclaim. That is one thing Thomas has been doing very well, is getting the reclaim that has been left around the place. Blodir less successful at that. You can see there's not many engineers around for Blodir. He has a couple on this side, and he's actually trying to get a PD up, and if he gets his Mantis in here to finish that PD, it will be pretty annoying. Doesn't look like he will do that though. could try and finish that. That would be a nice move. There's a lot of tanks coming out of Thomas's base now. And he's really lacking mass. He probably needs to pause a couple of factories at this point to stop his production from slowing. And it looks like he will take back this expansion over here. He's trying to get a PD up. He's losing some tanks to the ACU, which, as we said, is never good. And on the right, another probing attack from Blodir, committing a lot of tanks and forcing a commitment of a lot of tanks to defend. Many wrecks spread around the map now, and I think it will get to the stage now very soon where, or we're already at it, where attacks, well, you have a far less opportunity to actually do raids. So say here, if Thomas could try to move this way, these tanks could move back. If Thomas or Blodir is not going to want to commit all of these tanks to a raid, that's obviously not going to be efficient because there are only T1 mexes. So at this point it becomes a more stationary game because there's so many units on the board that you can't actually really squeeze in between and sneakily get your raid away. And so Thomas is going for the gun. And I think this is a very good time to do it. On the left side we have an attack. Oh, Blodir. See, this scout has been hovering overhead for many minutes, just giving him insane intel. You have to catch your opponent's scouts like this. They give so much vision, and you can see just out of the dark comes a large group of mantis, and all the units are committed, and they will all go down. You can see the trade is extremely poor. Most of the army is still alive for Blodir, and that is a very bad fight that has been lost by Thomas, but he has the gun. And Blodir already, well, it looked like he was going to run away. Does he know? I don't think he has realized that this is the gun yet. But now Thomas' model appears and he can see the gun, and it is time to run far away. Now it looks not so good for Thomas unless he can really use this ACU. So on the right and left, actually this is very nice for him. See a lot of reclaim left here. This is good, and he can potentially move back across this way and push out, regain some map control and take some reclaim. His ACU can do huge amounts of work, so I think gathering the troops and pushing out, forcing Blodir to react is going to be a good move. On the left side still, the lack of vision is very bad. If you don't have vision, you're going to send your units places where they should not be. It's ACU. So powerful now with the gun. And you can see Blodir just moving all of his units. He's parrying all of these attacks. The only thing he can't parry is the ACU. This has to be the key to winning the game. Without a lot of work from this guy, it's going to be very difficult, because Blodir, as we can see now, has very good map control. You can see even has a mech here on this side, as well as simply denying these. He has this mech, which should not be his. He has both these middle mechs, and Thomas is missing one. All of these things are negatives for Thomas, and we can see the overall 31 mass per tick to 19. And Blodir does not want to leave these tanks on Thomas's side, so quickly retreats them. And if we look at air, actually we have, well, 11 inties, not bad. Only 5 for Thomas. He has some bombers. They can actually do significant damage. And now Thomas is going for nano repair. And is that the right decision? Let's see what Blodir... Is Blodir making the gun? Ah, Blodir has not even started making the gun. So I would... Now he's started it. This nano repair, I think it's... Well... I think he's losing a lot of initiative. I think he didn't get back his... He didn't get back enough from the gun yet. See, he could have put a lot of pressure. Blodir really is allowed to get away with his opponent having the gun. This ACU was doing some work, but overall, I think Nano is going to be really strong, but the cost is a very idle ACU, which I don't know if he can afford to be idle. His unit count is going to be far lower now because of the time lost. So he has 84 tanks. Let's see what Blodir is at now. 98, but also 42 Medusa. That's probably too many Medusa at this stage. I think we could do with some... At this point on Cobalt Valley you can make upgrades, max upgrades. You can go T2 land. But we're staying on T1. And now Nano is done. And Blodir's T2, or sorry, not T2, but gun is just about finished. And he's starting T2 land. So let's see what the ACU can do with Nano. Well, he's gonna try and fight this army, which has they've just held down this area, and now Blodir has engineers taking a significant amount of mass that's here. On the right side, more battles. And you can see that Thomas is in this very tiny area now, completely hemmed in. All of Blodir's units basically in a circle around him, a semicircle, not allowing him to make any inroads in any area of the map, more or less. So he pushes in, maybe leaves too much mass here. Blodir does. Oh, there's a little cliff here. That's actually quite annoying for pathfinding. It's not an open channel, but again, Blodir retreats and attacks somewhere else. The units just constantly having to move back and forth. I'm not sure where these units are headed. Now we take a look at the ACU. Well, he pushed back here. And Blodir retreats away, not wanting to give too many kills, but this ACU has gotten about 1,000 mass worth of kills since it got the Nano. Oh, a sneaky drop from Blodir, gonna raid some T1 mechs. Still don't have any mechs upgrade from Thomas, and Blodir has invested into a T2 mechs now. Where is his T2 land that he started? Here it is, quite far forward. 80% complete, no assistance on it. And yes, I think this I think the Nano upgrade was just killed any initiative given by the gun upgrade. Unfortunately. And now it's the two gun commanders are not even facing off. That's really the Nano is sort of a one-up on the Cybern gun comp. So he's maybe expecting the Cybern's gonna retreat a bit, go gun, and then when he comes back to fight, he's gonna be fighting a Nano com rather than just a gun commander, and then you can maybe take advantage of that imbalance there. But Thomas came over here, tried to fight this army, still has not retaken this expansion. We can see there's a fucking engineer here, gonna take it again for Blodir, and now Thomas, his ACU is completely out of position as Blodir pushes in with his ACU. Knows all the while that this ACU is removed on the left side of the map, and yeah, I think it's very close to over now. And yeah, Thomas was looking good early on. I think he had a pretty nice start. And I think we saw just a few ACU movements and things, and maybe the nano decision was not ideal, but he was behind at that point already. I think he didn't exploit the gun commander. You can see only 2 vets on this thing. And he's invested a lot in it, and Blodir meanwhile has 1 vet. And now so many Mantis, and these Medusa are doing huge damage to the base now. Things are dying very quickly. Thomas arrives on the scene, and he still has an army left. He hasn't committed. So he still has units, and so Blodir may feel a little scared now. Because he does only have a Cyber Gun Commander versus a Nano Gun UEF Commander with more vet. So Thomas has one last chance to go for the kill. And he's moving in. The Mantis stands strong, taking the fire and try and kill as many of these units as possible. The air comes overhead to prevent any bombers or something doing extra damage. And the T2 land arrives on the scene as well. Still some units survive, and he's going to try and block Blodir. Thomas is moving closer, but he can't get in range. Cannot put any damage on the commander right now. Just could not get in range. Thomas still on maximum HP, and he's actually going to get his 5th vet. But with no units surviving, there is no way he can put out enough damage to kill the ACU, and he calls GG. Well played, Blodir and Thomas, and yeah, not a bad game from either, and nice moves from Blodir. You can see that these games are a lot about that those early pre-10 minutes sort of T1 land moves where you're trying to maneuver in and around your opponent, see where their units are and exploit where they're not. Find those important engineers and deny expansions as long as you can, and even steal them if you can manage it. So, well played, GG. Hope you enjoyed this cast, and hope you tune into the next one soon. I'll see you soon.